2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
10.
Yizzo!
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to
Hey.
another episode of Around the Way Girls or whatever.
Hi,
I
Sheila.
feel like we should do what other people do. This is Shanti and this is Antoinette.
We
You're
do
listening
that.
to Around the Way Girls. We don't ever say who we are. Oh, I guess it's the intro.
Shanti,
My bad.
don't upset me.
I feel like people repeat it though. I feel like it's part of their intro.
No, nobody else has like a static intro. A lot of people don't do that at all. They just
They
press
just have
record
music.
and they do it different every week.
Wow. Speaking of doing something differently, I took myself on a date last night. I was going to take pictures and record so people could follow along, but life was lifing and I was moving fast and I was late and not very attractive, so I didn't want to show people the real deal because that's unacceptable. So I went to a Nick Hakim concert. And he was part of my hot shit a while ago. And that's my white boo. I love him. I'm attracted to him spiritually, sexually, physically. I love him. And who else? I wanted to say another white boo. I sent you a request for us to go see his show. I'm going to go take myself.
You did?
Yeah. Who's the Mexican guy that plays in, he was the mummy. He plays in the mummy from, he's Guatemalan, my bad. I apologize to you. In one of those, show. That's a
Are
shame.
you making stuff up?
No, he's fine. He is beautiful and he's also my bae. And then everybody gonna be like, that's my bae now too. But he is good looking. But anyway, I went to the show. It was very good, but Philly is the worst. I really wanted to go to the Brooklyn show on the 21st, but we went out. We had an event together. I would have much rather preferred to go to that show, but I went to World Cafe Live, which is a nice venue. But the crowd is I think he left upset. I think he left discouraged and upset. He didn't do a encore.
Did they ask for one?
Yes, in between his sets, he said something like, I guess y'all can go home now since y'all was talking shit in the front. Cause I was up. I was in seat. I'm 36 now, so I didn't want to stand in the crowd because I'm an older person and I wanted to sit and drink and watch him. But the Young Bucks must have not been giving him good energy because people that I saw that were down there were like, he left kind of disgruntled and upset. Like he was angry. People were clapping for an encore and the way they turned on those house lights and smooth jazz to let people know to leave. Philly is awful, but it was really nice to Philly, and that everybody says it. A lot of performers in Philly say that it's a terrible place to. A lot of people that are from Philly that come back.
They just try to be too cool.
I don't know if it's cool. They just have no empathy or ethics or I don't know.
Training.
When it comes to football, apparently they give all the energy.
Let's go.
But
we're gonna talk about that.
When it comes to appreciating artwork, Philly is terrible. Really terrible. But it was nice. And again, once I figured this out, this Guatemalan, this Hispanic man's name, this Spanish nigga's name, I'm going to explain.
Oh my God. Can I read you something? This is a review. The title of the review for us is Good But Annoying. Ready? Ready? You're going to crack up. For a podcast that's centered on politics and pop culture, y'all should be familiarized with your topics. Every other minute, y'all asking, what's her name? What's his name? Or just plain saying the wrong name. The cluelessness is irritating. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Please, people, please.
This is a part of my being. So if you want us to come up here about authentic, I don't know people's names. And I apologize for that if it's annoying. So I can understand that being annoying. But it also could be exciting. Like if you're watching Jeopardy where you're screaming out the name and testing how much you know against our lack of knowing. It could be fun. It depends on your perspective.
You should have been a politician. The way you flipped that was...
It's your fault,
You're also
bitch.
somehow closer to your mic. Back up. You Hi, Bash.
I feel like in the past, it's very confusing. I have trauma because before it was like, Shanti, you're not speaking into your mic. And
I know.
Like,
and now you're going into the red. Even Monty is saying like, oh, we're going into the red. So I'm actively, I want to get into this mic more, but I keep looking at myself and I'm backing up.
No, I'm going to learn to
watch y'all can't hear us this episode. I hate it here. You have another update.
I also have my Instagram, my business. I have given up on my personal Instagram long ago, and I just stayed connected to Instagram because I had to for the Sable Collective and Around the Way Curls. And I have somebody else do my admin, so as emails come in, and this morning that person sent me an email and was like, be careful, there's an alert. And in the alert was a very generic, now that I look at it, just a very generic scam. But the media and the aesthetic was tight. The text was tight. It looked like something from Instagram. I gave them my information and I was immediately locked out of my Instagram and sent a very dooming and scary text from a hacker from WhatsApp, an encrypted text.
Oh, you gave them your login information?
Yeah, because that's what Instagram asked for. Yeah.
Instagram says they would never ask for that over email.
It's for my logins. And yes, they have. And other points of like verification, they do that. But the thing was that it came from my staff's email. Normally when I get those emails, and I've been dodging them for years, I look at their email and I see, oh, this is from Bob, whoever. But it came from her, and all I saw was that text, and it was about copyright. And I've been using other people's songs on my business account, which I can't do. Like Around the Way Curls, for whatever reason, is allowed to use Beyonce's music, whatever. But Sable's, you can't. And so I was like, oh, there's a possibility that there was a copyright, because I like try to get around that. Anyway, the shit's gone. They're trying to extort me for money to get it back. Everybody's like, don't pay. I wanted to just pay it.
They probably wouldn't give it back to you anyway, Sheila.
But why not? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Just keep asking for more money. They know you need it if it's your livelihood.
This is 7 years of work. This is the way that I've learned my customers. This is the way that customers contact me. This is the way that I get sales. So the amount of discouragement that I feel and the effect that this is going to have on my business is really, really sobering and scary, to say the least. So I just might never do this. I just no, like dead ass. You think I'm joking? But no. Dead ass. The amount of like uphill. It's hard to make sales anyway, and then to have that channel taken from you is just, I could cry. It's
can't. No, of course, I can't imagine.
Discouraging. It's years, 7 years. This is like. Yeah, when people want to vet you, if you want to get opportunities, if you want to curate stuff, people go on your Instagram and they see your voice, who your brand is, who you are, your engagement. And to go from 25,000 to 0 is like.
I think you're going to get it back. We're going to figure out a way to get it back. We are, I promise. And for now, I want all the Around the Way Curls listeners who are Sable supporters to run to Sable's website and please subscribe to their newsletter. That's something that you could do to make sure that you're up to speed on all things Sable. You send out a beautiful newsletter. I think it's like twice a week or at least weekly, right? With all of the Sable happening. So make sure y'all go there. Make sure you please spread the word about Sable, share with folks. I think that Shanti, for now, use Around the Way Curls to promote whatever you need while folks in the background there's got to be a way to get it back. I know people that have gotten their pages back. I just don't know how. And I would be devastated. I'm surprised you're even doing this tonight, but like, I'm so sorry. but I don't want you to lose hope, and I don't want you to like.
It's just being an entrepreneur is insanity. You're not. It's the amount of shit that it's just the loneliest, craziest thing. I don't know how not to do this. I'm unemployable, so I really have no choice.
You are not unemployable.
I am unemployable. I'm not built to work for other people.
Okay.
I don't think that is my soul's calling. It would, unless it's a daycare. So I might shut it down and open a boutique daycare. So,
all right, we are going to figure that out. And if anybody has any resources, please hit us up. And if you can email us so it doesn't get lost in the DM. What's the email for Sable? The Sable, what is it?
sablecollective@gmail.com. Look at it. It's all in my body.
Know. The sablecollective@gmail.com.
sablecollective@gmail.com.
All right. And I think that we should put that information in the description as well. Please help Shanti reclaim what she has built and what is hers. It's coming back to you. Maybe this is just a lesson on like, you're right.
For everybody in every business, if your business is based on Instagram and you don't have people's emails or other forms of contact to nurture your customers and to know your customers, you are putting yourself in a great disadvantage, because even if somebody's not hacking, Instagram could just fall apart. So this is for Around the Way Curls as well. Another segue. Listen, guys, many of you guys have been asking how to get Around the Way Curls merch. We sold merch a couple years ago. We still have old inventory. They're at a discount now. So if you want to stay connected to us outside of the realm of Instagram, many of you follow on us all the time, listen to us on Patreon and other platforms, which is amazing. But you can also stay connected to us, God forbid something happens, by going to aroundthewaycurls.com. There you will find merch. Please don't be upset that you may not find your size. This is just us flushing us out and making room for new products, inventory, hopefully. But we are letting go of some of the old products. And many people are like, yo, I want to shop, but we can't. There's jewelry, there's sweatshirts, there's t-shirts, there's crop tees. If you nasty, go to aroundthecurls.com and shop there as well.
All right. And then to just put a button on this, I do want to encourage folks to go to their Instagram, go to settings, go to security, and then you can put on a two-step authentication, which you can download. So once you go to Instagram, you can select the two-step authentication. They will tell you what to download from the App Store. And whenever there's a new device trying to log into your Instagram, it will ask them for the authentication code, and that will only come to your device that's downloaded. And
don't believe any email, because you have texted me like, PayPal said we owe them money.
I know.
Like, they're scammers. This has been years. And if you're moving fast and you're not looking at the email, child, be careful out there. It's the Wild Wild West. And he's Russian. He said, put some respect on. No, he was Russian.
Okay.
I respect Russians. The hustle is real. They don't give a fuck. And I respect it. Shit.
Okay, well,
Russian listeners.
On a more positive note, we were together this weekend. We had a good time. I came down to Philly for a couple hours. We went to dinner. It was delicious. And then we also hit up DJ Bobby Flowers' Beyonce party, which was a lot of fun. And we also watched the Eagles game. And Shanti learned about football. Shanti, what did you learn about football?
Don't play yourself. Okay?
No, come on.
Please don't hurt yourself. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I don't remember any of it. First down.
Really? First down. How many downs do you get?
3.
Yeah, girl, you know. And you can go for it on fourth down. That was what I was teaching you in the video.
But then you kick it. You kick it.
Nope. If you don't get it on fourth down, then they get the ball wherever it is that you tried, where you failed on fourth down.
Right.
But yes, you kick it after third down if you don't get it. That 10 yards. 10 yards.
For an extra 2 points or 3 points. Some shit like that.
No, the 3 points is the field goal. You are conflating some rules, but the rules, you can hear it there that you hear that she was learning.
Because this is like the 17th time somebody has tried to explain this in my life, and all I remember is first down. Because isn't that a brand as well?
I don't know if first down is a brand, but first down, I think that I was watching football one day and thinking about like, yo, this is life. Like you have to figure out how to get through. And literally it's just that play. If you're looking ahead all the way down the field, like, yeah, sometimes you can throw the ball down the field and pick up a bunch of yardage and it works out. But for the most part,
concussion and brain damage.
Yes. And that's life. Life is hard, but you just want to get those 10 yards, and that's what you got to focus on, is those 10 yards ahead of you. You just focus on that. And if you continue to focus on that and you get that, then you're just marching down the field and you get into the end zone. You like how I did that there, right? Positive spin on one of the most violent sports in the world. Shout out to the Eagles. They won. We ended up after dinner finding an Eagles bar, having a good old time there. You will learn more about that Eagles bar later because I saw the other update that we have. In addition, I want to shout out two of my good friends. Big shout out to Nas and Arlene. Yay! They are getting married.
Congratulations.
Nas is one of my favorite Nigerians, y'all. I always be talking about my PBO guys, and he popped the question to his lady. We've been waiting. He's been telling us for at least a year and a half that he knew he was going to propose to her. And I get why he waited, because that ring is beautiful, and it looks beautiful on her fingers. I cannot wait to just see where this couple goes. Shout out to them.
They're going far.
They are.
They're going deep. She got herself a Scorpio. Wherever they're going, it's deep and tight.
She's a Scorpio, first of all.
Oh my God. It is an
Scorpio.
Entanglement of depth.
You're right. You got
love that for y'all.
Real estate. What is
Passion,
he doing?
intensity.
Real estate. What is it? What is it when you hurt yourself? I think that's what he does. Then you got to get better.
Insurance claim. Oh, therapy, physical therapy.
Physical
Not
therapist.
Insurance claim.
And then she is a doctor. So like,
and they get money. Oh my God.
And it's just
Scorpions
so lovely
that are achieving highly.
I love
need
it.
to rethink my life.
We're doing okay, I hope. Anyway, well, no, we had a call with the CPA and he laughed at us 2 days ago, so we won't get into that. Anyway, big shout out to Nas and Arlene. That made my day. And shout out to all those folks who are committing themselves to partners for all of eternity. That's after death too. Wow. All right. In addition to scammers, I would like to put out a PSA that ASOS, the popular clothing company, is absolutely scamming folks. I am someone who shops on ASOS, and because I don't have time to shop, so what I do is I will buy a large amount of clothes rather, in all kinds of different sizes, whatever. It might total $1,000. It might total $2,000. And then I return probably 99.9% of what I bought, because I'm really looking for one item, but I never know what size I'm going to be. And so I just buy a whole bunch of options. And ASOS has a great return policy. What I'm realizing is their return policy is that great because they will scam you.
Uh-oh.
They will not. They will give you a huge amount of your return back, but they will always forget 1 or 2 items, depending on how much you purchased. So what I've been realizing is one of the lowest items that I purchase often is like not included in my return, but I'll see such a large return that I'll be like, okay, I got my return next. But now what I'm doing is girl, you is just, what you touching though? It's so loud. It's loud in my headphones from the computer. Just careful. What I'm doing is I'm totaling up the amount that I'm supposed to get back. And then when I receive that email, I'm hitting them up like, hey, you refunded me for 20 items. I returned 22. These 2 items are missing, and they'll give it to you immediately. So just watch ASOS, y'all. That's partly why that return policy is so good.
Returns are difficult too. You know, they be throwing that shit in the trash. Anyway, that's another conversation. But
don't upset me. I have not shopped there as often, but when I'm in a pickle, I need to. Also, my new podcast dropped.
Congratulations! Woo!
I should have said something last week, but I forgot. It dropped last Wednesday. 2 episodes are out of the Can't Afford Therapy podcast. Please join myself, Savon, and Josh as we basically do what I'm doing on here, but a little more, I guess, intentionally, where we're talking about our mental health. We are providing safe space for one another, and it's really refreshing because I don't know that there's a lot of mental health and wellness podcasts that have men and women on the same show and not arguing, just helping each other and really caring about one another.
I listened to it. It was really beautiful. It was really nice. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it. I saw some clips where Puerto Rican, Latino, Josh. I apologize. Josh was sharing his experience with violence and how he became a mediator for his parents. And I felt that too. It opened up something for me. So
Josh has had a really interesting life, and you'll see more from him. He's actually going to be on the next season of Couples Therapy with his fiance. So.
Oh my, I love that for him.
I know.
I fuck with him. Shout out to Josh. No offense to the other boy, but I did not listen to.
Well, he's not necessarily featured on the clips just yet, but yeah, if you listen to the first episode, I will say that the first episode was one where it was not planned. I was sitting there, and it's all about risk being worth the reward. And I was so tight from my job, from Around the Way Curls, like really stressed out. My phone was pinging. I was near tears. And not Josh, and Savon was like, close your laptop, because I was ready to go on to the next topic. And I had everything plotted out and planned out, and the outline was done. And I had my talking points and he was like, close your laptop. We're going to take a risk right now, and I want to address what I see in you. And they just proceeded for like 50 minutes to pour into me.
I know that's motherfucking right.
And it was really, I cried. And you have to realize we don't know each other that well. Like, we literally came together to do this podcast. So it's a big leap for us to even share a lot of this information with one another. And we're doing it. We're having the hard conversations, and shout out to them. Shout out to that podcast, executive produced by none other than the queen of mental health, Mandy B.
Daddy of podcasts, I feel like.
She is the
puff daddy. You the Diddy of this shit. You just be on there like, take that. Like, Mandy, what? You don't have anything to do with this.
I love her. So shout out to that. And yeah, please head on over there. Rate, subscribe, listen in. Speaking of rate and subscribe, please rate and subscribe and review and share Around the Way Curls. We definitely want some additional reviews now that we got that poor one. And that is first
They didn't give a poor one.
Girl, they said annoying.
That's true. It is annoying. They spoke truth. Shout out to you.
Well, if anybody wants to bury that with some other ones, that would be great. Also, I want to shout out so many new patrons. Thank you. And shout out to the folks that shared their playlists. Are you getting all these playlists, Shanti?
Yes, I am. I meant to say that. Yes. Thank you for all the playlists. And also, I have keep going into that. I have another thing to share in response to last week.
All right. So I just want to shout out the patrons: Wafa M, Kamara S, Eloise, Rolando B, Jasmine A, Ruby M, Dap2K, Noah, Andrew B, Renee C, JT, Carissa L, Icky, and I'm going to mess her name up, and it's pretty, Nylia J.
Y'all squad deep. Wow.
Can we take a break and then come back and you share the next thing?
Yes.
Sing for us, Sheila.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop. 25:10. Okay. That was good. Yeah, I wanted to be cognizant of when that break came in. You got what you need?
I know. I don't know this man's name. I wanted to look back on my Saber Collective through Around the Curls, but it's not there. So, what is this man's name?
What man?
He's the Guatemalan guy. I want to prove that I do know the guy's name. Mummy. What's the name of?
He was a mummy.
He was Mummy. He was the mummy in the
movie
Marvel.
The Mummy.
No, in the Marvel Marvel universe.
He was the
guy that he's setting it up so that Jonathan Majors can come through. Because Jonathan Majors is the Pharaoh dude. He's some kind of like Egyptian bad guy. So this Guatemalan guy played this character.
Are you talking about he's not a mummy? Are you talking about the guy that's in Black Panther? That's under the sea?
No, he's a magic Egyptian bull from the Marvel universe. I'm surprised and disappointed in you. I apologize.
I don't understand what you mean.
What is his name? Phantom? Yeah. Moon Knight. Yes, there it is. Moon Knight.
What was he in? Don't make things up.
This man that is my baby.
Wait.
Moon Knight actor.
Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Oscar Isaac.
But what was he in? Seriously.
He played in
Marvel
Moon Knight.
movie was he in?
Moon Knight. It was a TV show.
Oh, it was a TV show.
On HBO. But it's setting up the premise. It's setting the scene for Jonathan to come through because
Marvel is owned by Disney now. So
maybe
you sure?
Maybe it was Disney. I don't know. But let me show you my boob eyes.
You're just saying stuff. You are proving that.
No, I'm not. Right. I don't know that. I don't know their names, and I'm never gonna change that. That's my brain doesn't catalog. Some people's brain catalogs, and that's not how mine works at all. Unfortunately,
I see his face, Sheila.
That's my boo. And
right.
He has a play with this other white girl in New York, and I'm going to treat myself on a date and go to this play.
Not you're going to invite me, and we can both go.
I tried to invite you, ignored what I said, so
I don't remember you ever sending me that.
Well,
can you just send it again?
I don't even know the name of this play. I don't know what it is.
Just look up his name and write play.
I forgot his name.
Forgot his name again?
Isaac Hayes.
All right, I'm done. Come on, we got to finish these episodes.
All right. The sign in Sydney Brewster's window. Girl. Oh. You can act too. But go ahead, Queen.
All right, we're ready to come back?
Yeah.
28:22. And we are back. So, Shanti, did you want to fill us in or?
We're back, and last weekend while we were together, Antoinette insisted that we go finish the game at a bar.
What are you talking about? I thought you were going to talk about the Moon Knight guy. Oh. What are you talking about?
I'll get to that later. Later. I'm going on to hot shit now.
But did you see I have a note here? You skipped it. All right.
I'm sorry, I did not see that, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Before we get into hot shit, I just wanted to take a moment. I thought that you were going to give us an update on what you were talking about before, but all of that can wait. Based off the fact that we want to just take a moment to send light and love to all of those who have lost their lives and folks who have lost loved ones over the past week, to the absolutely senseless gun violence in this country. And a lot of it happened over the Lunar New Year, where it was supposed to be nothing but celebrations. And it was just really sad to see. I believe there were 2 mass shootings in California. There was another one at
a school shooting.
Yeah, like this is just awful. And I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine being one of those people that you send your loved one out into the world and they don't come home based off of this. Like, I don't know how you wrap your head around that. And I also want to acknowledge the man who basically saved a lot more lives by wrestling that gun out of the hands of that 72-year-old person that was definitely must have been struggling with something. It just doesn't make any sense. That shot up a damn dance. But he wrestled him, and that video footage is out, and he's a hero. But I just want to send light and love to all those folks who are affected, because it's really sad, and it just felt like it was happening a lot this weekend. That's all. Ashe.
Sorry, that was very somber.
I know, I'm sorry.
Back to this nonsense. My apologies for missing that. Like I was saying, Antoinette, on last weekend we were together, we had dinner, and then we went over to a bar to watch the Eagles game. We walked into this sea of just white people with boat shoes on and socks and shorts in the cold, frigid weather, and lots of green, drinking lots of beer. We sat down. We were probably only 3 brown bodies in this space, me, Antoinette, and Amanda. We look up, and there's about 4 TVs playing.
Projector.
At a projector. There's just a bunch of screens up. And then we see this one, all of it's the Eagles game. And then there's just this one solo screen. And all of a sudden we see Bob Ross.
The God.
Fucking it up on the screen. On Netflix. Apparently, this is the hot
Hulu.
Shit. Is it?
Yeah,
it's not on
Netflix?
Hulu? Oh. We're about to give some misinformation. It is on Hulu. You can watch back-to-back videos of Bob creating the most beautiful universes that you can't even imagine off the cuff, apparently. And then he breaks with these very tender moments of him engaging with small animals. Like, he was fucking up making a waterfall, and then he's like, hold up, we gotta take a minute. And he's just stroking a baby deer. This deer is not afraid. It's like only a person close to God, only a highly elevated person can just stroke a baby deer. And a little duck in it. Nigga, he had his hand cupped, and all you see from the top are his hands cupped, and you're like, what is in his hands? And he opens it, and it is a chick. It is a baby chick.
Shut up, yo.
And you're like, who is Bob? But apparently,
Bob is the man.
Antoinette, what is your theory about Bob and all those brush strokes?
Well, in watching Bob, one, I gotta say, first I have to say Bob raised me. I would rush home to sit and watch Bob Ross. And in watching him as an adult, it's become very clear that Bob was fucking right. Like, I don't care what anybody says. The amount, like you said, he is close to God, and the amount of the attention to detail, the tenderness, the intention behind every one of his moves, skills, visionary. You're going to see them sights with Bob. He had the crazy afro done perfectly. He used to wear, what is that called? The Canadian, when you have a jean shirt and jean pants.
Don't listen. Didn't somebody tell us to stop mentioning shit that we don't know? That's our problem. We don't know. Keep your mouth shut.
Canadian tuxedo. Or
it's denim on denim. It's a fucking vibe. That's all I know.
Mandy told me that's what it was called. Anyway, and Lord knows that Mandy said it could definitely be wrong now. Shout out to her. But anyway,
the Midwestern. Yeah,
Bob Ross is amazing, and I have since been listening to him as I go to bed. And you'll be happy to know that if you do not have Hulu, you too can watch Bob Ross for free, full episodes on YouTube.
And why wouldn't you?
Listen, take an edible.
In front of your kids. Stop putting those little weird, jumpy little orange little Muppets in front of your babies. put Bob Ross. Start him young.
It's so true. There's so much imagination with how he creates these landscapes and these worlds, and there's so much depth. Like literally, you feel like you can walk through this painting. It's incredible.
He would add a light, and we were just like, oh shit.
But I remember I told you, I was like, he's going to add this crazy ass color right here. We going to be like, no, Bob, that didn't work. And then all of a sudden,
it was a rock.
It was amazing. It's incredible. Anyway, Bob Ross is laying down the foundation for us. So please take an edible if you don't have children, and just sit yourself in front of the TV and watch Bob Ross and see if you don't see something else for your life. Okay?
I'm gonna do that
right along.
Bob will help me through this moment of anxiety and stress. Shout out another hot shit. Shout out to Angel Gregorio of Spice Sweet. If you are a Black woman between the age of 35, I would say maybe 30 to 55, you know about Angel. Angel set up shop in DC. She has a boutique spice business where she just offers an amazing mixing of spices. She has an amazing IG platform where she's just making delicious food for her babies. She says she's not a chef. She doesn't claim to be, but she just be fucking it up with these spices. And she has such a huge following. When she opens her doors, she has just lines of Black women looking to buy her spices. She has gone from this small business in which she faithfully hosted other small businesses for free. She's hosted over 450 small businesses in her space already, and she has expanded. She's gone and purchased a very large building. It used to be an old tow truck company and turned into a multi-use commercial development.
Wow.
With adding shipping containers, all housing Black businesses. She has a nail salon, a hair salon, and a grocery store already there that are already like stationed there. I may have lied about the grocery store, but she's really, really intentional and really paying forward for a lot of Black businesses. And she's creating this space so that there can be resources for Black businesses in the form of education and classes. And she's fucking killing it. So you can find her story and her business at Spice Sweet, Suite, SUITE, and on IG. And then you can follow this amazing development at Black and Forth. And you can check out all of the amazing offerings she has at blackandforth.org. Hopefully Sable is going to be up in there on February 18th. So if you want to come and see me, DC, all my people from Maryland, all that group, please come through, check us out. I will confirm. If you follow us if you go to our website and you are subscribed to our newsletter, that's how you will further.
You will also know on AroundTheWayCurls.com.
Or Around the Way Curls. Shout out to
not .com. Around the Way Curls.
Around the Way Curls. But check them out. If you're a small business and you want to have your business highlighted, you should check her out because she has these openings where she hosts you, and she's really dope and powerhouse. Shout out to Angel.
That sounds amazing. Dope. I'm going to save that other one for next week. Politics as usual. Well, I saw this making the rounds on the social medias, and Governor Ron DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida, who will most likely be running for, he's going to run for president, and he might fuck around and win. He's a Republican, and he has banned an African American Studies AP course from Florida. So when I saw this going around, I saw a lot of people reposting and saying things like, Ron DeSantis bans African American Studies from Florida in general. That is not true. This is a specific advanced placement course that he has banned. And so the class is currently undergoing, it's in a pilot phase, and there's 60 schools that were participating in the trial run. And one of the schools was one high school in Florida. But the state officials have taken issue with the possibility that the course would teach about Black Lives Matter and about the reparations movement, saying that the class indoctrinates children into a political agenda. And then they also went on to say, as submitted, the course is a vehicle for a political agenda and leaves large, ambiguous gaps that can be filled with additional ideological large. Oh, God. Cut this out, Monty. Ready? They also go on to say, can you make a note on that, actually? Put a timestamp for him. Lord. All right, ready? They also go on to say that as submitted, the course is a vehicle for a political agenda and that it leaves large, ambiguous gaps that can be filled with additional ideological material, which we cannot allow. He followed with, we proudly require the teaching of African American history. We do not accept woke indoctrination masquerading as education. So they also are saying that critical race theory is being taught in this course, which is also untrue. Now, for folks that do not know, critical race theory is a Harvard course. Again, Harvard, that's college, a Harvard course that that basically talks about the legal framework around the argument that racism is not just a product of individual bias, but that it is deeply embedded in the legal systems and the policies within this country. So, scholars who were involved in creating the curriculum said that what Governor DeSantis is saying is far from the truth. In quotes, they say that there's nothing particularly ideological, why am I struggling to say that, about the course, except that we value the experiences of African people in the United States. This is Christopher Tinson. He is the chair of African American Studies Department at St. Louis University, and he said this to NPR. He said, we didn't want to just focus on slavery, although slavery is a part of it. We wanted to give a comprehensive view of the culture, literature, historical development, political movements, and social movements of African Americans. He was particularly excited for students to have a fuller grasp of the Haitian Revolution, which Tinson argues tends to be underrepresented in history classes compared to the American and French revolutions, despite being the most successful slave revolt in world history. So, DeSantis is being particularly combative on this issue. You have to realize that his history is very much against the quote unquote woke movement. In 2022, he signed the Stop Woke Act. That's so crazy, which, among other things, sets limits on how race can be taught in classrooms. Okay, so here we are. What are your initial thoughts, if anything?
I mean, that's bullshit, and I'm really curious as to what his idea of acceptable Black history is. Mm-hmm. And it feels like he just doesn't want any continued recording or interest, like exploring of resistance, of Black resistant mm-hmm. movements, of like this that there's an idea that there is something still for Black people to resist and to still,
I think that's
energy towards equality.
He would define as woke. Yeah. I think it's an erasure too of history. And I feel like that is one of the vessels in which these people, this is what they do. This is what they've done. They erase your culture and they want you to take on this full American identity, which some folks definitely embody. I look at someone like a Whoopi Goldberg, where she says, one, her name is Whoopi Goldberg, but two, she says, that she is an American before she is all of these other things, but she's also a Black woman. Like she recognizes that very much, but she very much feels that she should identify first as an American, because she feels like you have to acknowledge that I'm a part of this and everything that I come with. Yeah. There's some people who also just want to erase their roots, and some people who have no idea what they even are. And it's a tactic. And I think there's so many implications for what this could mean if he does become president. He's already extremely powerful in the Republican Party. He has so much support nationally as well. And with Trump losing his ground with most Republicans, a lot of Republicans moving away from him as a result of the midterm elections and the Stop the Steal and all that, this is the guy that they're most likely going to prop up as next up. And it's really alarming. And it brings me into the next topic, when then you have Biden. And Biden, y'all know that I might put a cape on or two for Joseph Robinette now, but Joey has more classified documents uncovered in his home. And now it's to the point where, again, everything that I said last week, I still stand on, in terms of, I don't think that Joey is taking these documents and putting them in his back pocket and cutting them up like Trump and putting them in the toilet. No, that's not what's happening, or what seems to have happened. But it's a problem. It's going to be a real talking point, and rightfully so, for Republicans. And I don't think that he handled it the best way. And so now we're in this predicament where we just had the midterms. So we are going to start dealing with campaigning soon. Like midterms just happened. Now it's time to campaign for the election. And who will the Democrats prop up? You have DeSantis, who is this Italian young, he looks quote unquote presidential. He's got the wife, he's got the kids. When he speaks, he's very poised, even though what he's saying, in my opinion, is a pile of shit. He already has Florida in his pocket, and we know how influential Florida can be in elections. And we know how, I think badly, many Republicans would like to win back power within this country. So it'll be interesting to see who Democrats throw their weight behind. And I think right now there's a bit of a scramble to understand who these nominees are going to be, because Joseph Robinette has said he's running, and he's also would be the oldest person he is the oldest person, I believe, to ever hold office. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So, and a lot of people don't, and I don't mean to be ageist, but a lot of people are starting to question if he is mentally fit for the role, since he's having some of these hiccups when he's speaking. And I think that his mental capacity is fine. I think things are just moving a little slower. And so when he gets excited, he just, like me, my eyes start going crazy. For him, I think shit just gets a little tricky up there, and then he just,
like, how do I get down these stairs? Where am I? No, yes, girl, no. We've seen videos. It's where am I? How do I continue to stand and move forward?
Stop.
Logistically.
I'm going to say he got down on his knee when the Golden State Warriors visited the White House. He did forget a couple of their names, but he made it a point to show I'm not old. And he got down on that knee for the picture. And then Kamala thought about it, and she said, nope. And she just stood there. It was a very awkward press conference, but here we are. Go ahead.
The way that the Republicans have mastered polarism, in a way, the way they have mastered black and white, right and wrong, and have completely delegitimized, nuanced, and like gray. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I don't know how Democrats, how they counter that with the same black and white, if it's even possible. Like, I feel like the Democrats have countered their black and white, that the Republicans' black and white, with the quote unquote woke agenda in a lot of ways, which has so much nuance within it as well. And it does fall as like, what are you talking about? It falls as unauthentic because you have these white people that are saying that they have money and power. I don't know how they are going to offer people. I feel like Barack was so good because his shit was hope. It was like, This is what we're working. This is hope. It's hope for the future. Democrats are like, it's equality. It's, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I feel like they're in trouble, but Republicans have mastered, and people feel very safe in this, in being in boxes, in knowing what's right and knowing what's wrong and knowing what their boundaries are and knowing what they can expect in the future for their kids. And Democrats don't know how to manage this nuance. Like, we have tastes of it. We know this shit don't make sense.
I wish they would highlight how gray certain things are. I feel like they don't. Like, you have, what's his name? What's the dude who I talked about last week who just a liar? What is his name?
What?
No.
Oh, listen, look at us.
Look at us.
Oh, if y'all have compassion for us, that's it. Y'all ain't.
We're doing the
off
best
the cuff. This is what you guys are listening to podcasts where people are taking. Maybe we need to take takes. That's what it is.
What?
I don't know what these other
George people. Santos.
I know it was Santos.
Yeah.
DeSantis and Santos.
Yeah. It's all tricky.
Latin derived names.
George Santos. Like, you have this man in positions of power. More information just came out about him that the person that he said was handling his campaign finances never actually took the job. So the person's name who was on the paperwork is not who did the paperwork, because they never took the job. And you have this person as a sitting member of Congress, okay, as a representative. And the reason being is because you don't want to have a much slimmer majority. Like, that, if that ain't gray, I don't know what is. But the Democrats instead will just kind of, they go for these gotcha moments. That both parties do it. But they go for these gotcha moments instead of taking that and funneling that into their narrative around the complexity of how to fix all this shit. But
if that were the public practice, America would fall the fuck apart, because then people would be saying like, well, what do we do about these tax? Like, all of the nuance, all of the things that need to be held, all of reparation, like all of these things that if you break apart what's right and what's wrong, what the rules are, the whole shit, the Democrats would also have to like focus on, uphold, be accountable, and really dissect all the contradictions. And the Republicans are like, we don't give a fuck. We know it don't make no sense, but we're never going to explore it. We're never going to admit it. We're free now. Everybody's free. The dream is alive.
But for the life of me, I think, well, maybe a better thing is most people, unfortunately, vote with their pocketbook. So maybe a better approach is like, yo, they're trying to take your Social Security and your Medicaid, and you've been paying into this shit. This is not free money that we're just giving you. You've been paying into this
social shit. Exactly. Nobody cares about women. Nobody cares about Black people. It's true, because if they really did, then we would be able to reckon with these nuances, and people would I don't know if forward. I believe that. I don't think that they do. I don't know if I believe that. Well, maybe women they care about a little bit more than they care about Black people and the equality of all races.
Women vote. and Black women vote. But I think the other thing, the gerrymandering is a real issue. But looking at the midterms, that I hope was a direct result of Roe v. Wade being overturned. I hope. I don't know. We'll have to stay on this topic much longer, but something to watch out for is that governor in Florida, y'all, might be the goddamn president in a couple of years. Moving right along, speaking of women, I am a big fan of this woman. How do you say her last name? Ardern. New Zealand's Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, she has announced that she will be stepping down as the country's leader by February. And this shocked many of her constituents and the leaders around the world. She basically said, I don't have what it takes to keep doing this. This job requires a lot. I'm tired. I've done the best that I could absolutely do, but it's time for someone else to come up and do this work. Obviously, we don't live in New Zealand. I am not privy to all of her policies, but I'm sorry, you have the soundscapes of Brooklyn. But what I do know about her is that she had her first child during her first year of being prime minister. So she was pregnant when she ran. She kept the country safe as hell during COVID. Like, she did a great job for New Zealand during COVID. And she dealt with one of the worst terrorist attacks. She had so much empathy. She had so much compassion. She was out hugging people. Do you remember that? When New Zealand had that awful mass shooting? She banned those automatic weapons like that. And everybody was really behind her. And she had a lot of support. And so I looked at this and I thought, wow, this is really what politics should be about. I feel like she's taught us so much, and I hope that people are taking notes. Like, I look at, and this is no diss, because I do like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but what would have happened if she would have relinquished her power and said, okay, it's time for someone new, when Barack Obama asked her to, so that he could make sure someone took that seat, and could carry on her legacy. Instead, she wanted to stay on, and unfortunately she passed away. Like, what would have happened if something would have happened to a Nancy Pelosi?
If you fuck with the realm more than you fuck with your own, you know what I mean? Like a Varys
No, it makes me think of Littlefinger. When Varys said that he liked Littlefinger, this is Game of Thrones, everyone, but he would see the country burn if he could rule the ashes. Yeah. And so she put country first. She put what her needs first. She said she finally wants to marry her partner. Her children are getting older. And even that, the fact that she has kids out of wedlock and is still like the prime minister, I fucking love her. But like, she wants to live her life, and she's done her duty.
What a possibility.
Right. She's opened the door for so many possibilities. So I just
America can't even have a president that's unwed. What?
I don't think that's law. We just haven't.
No, I'm talking socially. That's socially. Like, we wouldn't trust him. Is he gay? Is he that? Is he this? Is he bloody? Is he crip? Did he do it?
Yeah. Is he going to spill, top secret information to the next person that he's dating, to this? Yeah. All that kind of stuff. Oh. You go back to Kevin McCarthy and how relentless he was to become Speaker of the House. How he would have rather Congress not be able to function for days. If he didn't get those votes, he'd still be voting if it was up to him. It's all about the power and not about the service. And so I'm really impressed with this woman. And I just wanted to say there is hope, and follow women. We need more women leaders, because
girl, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but there was some TV show in the UK where they threw a bunch of kids into a house and they had to care for themselves. They taught them how to, they gave them a couple life skills. And the way those those young girls organized and were feeding each other and building community and being a little catty. They had
a chore list.
The Lord of Flies that became of those young boys. Terrible.
Interesting. And finally, lastly, before we get into pop culture, is that sad news, but Tyre Nichols, this is a Black man in Memphis, Tennessee, who unfortunately lost his life. He was pulled over for reckless driving, and he was beaten to death by 5 Black police officers. They were all fired. In addition, news has come out today, the 2 firefighters were also released of duty. And all that was released about them being released from duty was that they provided some initial care for him after he was beaten. And they didn't say much after that, but they were released as a result of whatever care it was. I say that with quotations that they provided. The family is demanding that the footage be released. They've seen it. They said that he was beat for 3 minutes straight, like a piñata. He complained about not being able, about having trouble to breathe. He was sent to a nearby hospital where he lost his life. And he lost his life from being beat, basically being beat to death and bleeding out. I saw this story and immediately thought, this has to be personal. There was some kind of something here. Like, it just, I don't know why, but in my head, I'm just thinking like, these police officers knew him. It feels like a hit. And then he gets this care, and the care is not real either by these other firefighters. Like, was everybody in on this? Like, what's the deal? You know, like, this just feels weird to me. No? And then on top of that, the footage absolutely should be released. We pay, basically, our tax dollars pay for that footage to even be able to be recorded. So, I don't know. I'm sick of talking about shit like this, but it doesn't feel like a setup to you?
I mean, it's possibly a setup. I just think the we all had the thing about abolishing police, but I think, again, it points to whether it's Black people, whether it's white people, whether it's a setup, the power structure, and the power that we give to police forces is just wild to me. And this is going to be used as fuel for all those people against the woke shit. Like, the Republicans or whoever, the people that hate Black Lives Matter, the way that they're going to use this as well to deflect from racist, conditioning of white cops. But I think it also is a great possibility for people to see that, like, it's just the systems. It's the systems. Regardless of who you put into that system, they're going to, it's going to be abused and misused. But that is horrific, and I don't know anything about that.
Oh, really?
I'm so sorry to his family, and like, these are people's babies. Like,
Can't
what
imagine.
the fuck? That's awful.
Say a prayer. More, I guess more will unfold. All right, let's reset. Pop culture. Can you take us into this?
Beyonce is back. This is her first performance since 2022. She set up to open up the opening of a hotel in Dubai. I don't know all of the intricacies of it, but she was paid apparently $24 million to perform at the opening of a hotel in Dubai. And she came out, she had Blue, she had her dancers, she played a set of her hits. She didn't play anything from Renaissance. It was, of course, Beyonce. It was fantastic. There were fireworks, there was light. She was on a device that lifted her up in the air as she sang Drunk in Love in a very impressive run. Like, it was cute. But of course she got a lot of bad feedback. A lot of people saying, like, here she go again, riding on the backs of the queer community. Renaissance was all built on the backs of the queer community, the ball life, and here she come. And how dare she do that in Dubai, a place that is notoriously homophobic and violent against the queer community, and that just didn't align. So, girl.
I'm going to shock everyone.
Uh-oh.
I love Beyonce, but the first thing that I felt when I saw this was disappointment. Truly. I was disappointed that she was performing in Dubai. And a lot of people are like, oh, 24, 25 million, 20 million. There's a bunch of different numbers going around. But this woman's a billionaire. You don't need it. You could turn down money. I'm sure you've turned down money before, Beyonce. And I don't mean to count her money, but it just didn't feel right off the heels of Renaissance. And I'll read one tweet. This person wrote, Douglas Greenwood wrote, no beef, but I'm struggling to understand why Beyonce, who has $500 million with her husband, $1 billion, would accept $20 million to make her debut performance of the Renaissance album, which she didn't perform, a record which lifts heavy from the queer culture in Dubai, a country where LGBT rights aren't recognized. And I want to make it really clear. It's not just a country that is violent or that discriminates against LGBTQIA folks, but a country where being gay is punishable by death. There's only 11 countries in the world where being gay is punishable by death. And the United, what is it? Now I'm fucking up. Dubai is, because a lot of people are saying Dubai. United Arab Emirates is the country. Dubai is a city. That is one of them. And I get it. I get the disappointment. I don't think that it means that you have to hate her or cancel her. I think it's very possible to love someone very much and be deeply disappointed in them.
But she didn't perform Renaissance.
And why do you think she didn't?
So, I mean, that's her regard. I mean, one, because that would be she didn't provide any visuals for Renaissance. I think there's a lot of strategy. I don't think it was because
part of it too is that it uplifts the gay community. And I think it's strategic.
So she didn't. But she did.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that if you have this record that feels like a warm hug to the ballroom folks, and then you go somewhere where those same folks can be killed for just being themselves, and then you like, all right, well, I won't touch that record so I can get this money. That's how it can feel to that community. And I completely get that. I see what you're saying, that, oh, she didn't do it, so no harm, no foul. She didn't do it anyway and then just ignore them. But in a way, they still feel ignored. I mean, she's capitalizing off of ballroom. And, you're on the record talking about Uncle Johnny. And then you don't have that same energy when there's dollar signs in front of you and this opportunity in front of you.
Why are people surprised? Beyonce and the Lucy, I mean, I get it, but I don't really understand.
People don't feel like you do about her. People feel like she's a soldier for them. A lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like that. You can make fun of me, you can be a child, but a lot of people are like, oh my God, Beyonce they have her on this pedestal.
So what did they want her to do? Never to perform in Dubai? Like she's done personal performances before for very wealthy Muslim people that have.
I can't speak for what they
orthodox.
wanted her to do. What I'm saying is, I can understand being disappointed by this. That's all I'm saying. It's as if I think it would be different if she didn't have this massive amount of wealth and like she didn't need to do it. Like, you're Beyonce. You don't need to do that.
We don't know what her needs are. I don't think we know what her needs are. And I don't think we know what, not to say, I mean, I know she has more than enough, but we don't know what her reasoning and her strategy are. And we don't know. I don't know.
She could have used that as an opportunity to make a big statement.
I don't
and to make space for gay folks. But obviously, that's dangerous.
Beyonce's MO? I don't understand. Since when is that Beyonce's MO? Beyonce's an entertainer first. She makes her music.
She just did the whole. No, I'm not gonna go. She just did the whole Black Parade thing. She's doing it for Black and brown folks, right?
But
you just did Black
benefit at these long $1 million deals. She ain't doing it for free.
Of course. Right, but
so it ain't never for free. These are for $1 million contracts.
It's a choice. When she did Homecoming at Coachella, that was to make a statement. You are going to acknowledge this culture. All you white folks are going to see what happens at these HBCUs, and you're going to be amazed by it. I want to show you
millions
what's
of
out
dollars.
there.
And I'm going to get Netflix to record it. And I'm going to make millions of dollars.
Money. We're making money doing the work that we're doing.
I don't understand what she's doing what she does. She's doing what she does, and she did it in her way of being quote unquote respectful.
She didn't make the statement. I feel like it's disappointing. I feel like it's as if it's as if you and I got somewhere and we got offered a whole bunch of money, let's say to join the Joe Budden network. Are we really going to join that fucking network? I would hope not. Not after all the shit that he's done. I don't want to start no fucking beef.
But she may not have that. That may not be her political lens. Like, that's Dubai. That's what they do over there. Since when are we if that's the case, if we have all this energy for Dubai, then why don't we hold the companies in which we benefit from direct? Like, why don't you have the same energy for the oil companies? Don't put that oil in your tank. Like, don't.
I don't disagree with that. I don't
see why she's getting the heat when there's like real heat that we could put.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is they both can exist. These companies should get the heat, right? But it's okay to still feel disappointed by somebody that makes you feel close to them. Sure. That makes you feel seen.
I'm not discrediting. I may be dismissing. I apologize. I'm not discrediting the sentiment. I apologize.
But
I get it. I get it. But I'm also like
learning maybe a lot of people don't. I'm so sorry. A lot of people, even I don't. I'm hitting the mic. That is the conundrum of
Beyonce. She is a complicated being. She refuses to be black or white. She is always gray because she be doing some things and be like, "Girl, what?"
Don't all of us. But I get it. It'll be interesting to see what finally does happen. With Renaissance, and I hope it is a really uplifting and beautiful experience for.
She like the way y'all ain't getting no visuals ever, and this whole tour is going to be my classics, and I'm not playing none of them songs.
I would be so mad. I would be like, "Oh hell no, we did not ask for that. I didn't seen it 4 times already."
Like, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. She would get booed.
These people are crazy. Okay, sorry, I'm getting texts about wanting to meet at Saturday in the very early morning, and it's a hard no for me. Go ahead. Next up. Oh, this isn't that big. We can skip it. But I just saw Nia Long. She was in Dubai. Everybody and their mother was there for the concert. And she was there with Terrence J. And they're probably just friends. But I love that for her. Nia Long looks like she's having fun. She was also on the red carpet. And the way she took Omarion's hand somewhere else and guided him to take this picture, like, come here, young boy. I said, Terrence J and Omarion look like fun, Nia. Have fun. You deserve. That's all. This breaks my heart. Go ahead.
Are they having a baby? Krishan and Blueface. I don't know nothing about these people aside from
neither outside of the chaos
that I give them both. They're apparently having a baby, although some sources are saying that that's not true. That it's all just
Krishan
a manipulative publicity stunt.
Your sound is cutting in and out. Say that again.
I said Krishan and Blueface are supposedly having a baby, but a lot of sources are saying that could just be a publicity stunt, and that's not necessarily truth. That she's not actually pregnant. Following her announcement, there's videos of her fighting. There's back and forth between Blueface is the guy. Blueface and her, him denying it, him putting her down, saying, she slept with a whole
denying that
bunch
he's
of
the
men.
father.
Just disgusting, toxic shit. They also, mind you, have a TV show out that
on that horrible network, Zeus. This should
constantly
be shut down.
Gets boosted by a lot of the pop culture platforms that we see. So we're constantly seeing this. So I can't give a side eye to the way those things just interface and are just work together beautifully. But I don't know, like, what do we want for them? What do we want for them? Like, I want Krishan to have her Summer Walker fucking Lauren London moment where, like, she's taken under the wing of Queen Afua, or she says that she's now the daughter of Oshun and she got her white head wrap and shit on and they're drinking. I want this for her. I want her to be alkaline. I want her to, like,
I want her to, but it's for both of them.
I want Erykah Badu to be the baby's doula. I want change for her. I want her to have her come to, like, African spirituality moment that I feel like so many of these young girls do. I'm like, I want this for her.
I honestly, it's not just her. He needs it too, because honestly, she's just as abusive.
That does that. Oh, she's a mess. She's bad.
She's bad. Just as abusive as him. And if she is pregnant, seriously, someone has to intervene with this. That was my point of putting it here. It's like, I am so sick of seeing, I was about to name folks, but I'm not, of seeing certain Black and brown podcasters, quote unquote, journalists, personalities, put them on their platform and exploit the chaos and the turmoil that these two kids are living in. Mm-hmm. And to bring another being into that for our quote unquote entertainment is abuse.
Neglect.
It's grooming. It's neglectful. And then when something horrible happens, I've said this before, we are watching a fucking ticking time bomb. And then when it blows up, we're all going to say, RIP, somebody should have done something. So if you're watching these shows, if you're laughing at it, like, you friends are part of the problem. This shit is not
But what
funny.
Is the collective intervention? Like, what do you do?
I think it starts with us. Why are we consuming it? Why do folks like that network? All they do is fight. I swear to God, I went over someone's house and they wanted me to watch it, and I left feeling so sad and was like, I'm sorry, I love you. I love hanging out with you, but I will never again. Like, I can't watch this. It broke my heart to watch that shit. I just can't do it. So I don't know. It's a plea to get people to stop watching.
I mean, the scary part, and the way that it does mirror a lot of young people that are in relationships having kids, is that they don't have, like, the community, even their parents. Mm-hmm. From what I see, they don't even have the parents to be like, let me take this baby. Like, you ain't doing this to her. Get yourselves together. The parents are like, who do they have? Who do they have? And then they just have a greater community that's just judging them, that's commenting, that's tearing them down,
that's egging them on, that's giving them money, that's giving them alcohol.
Where is Ayanla?
We knew that Ayanla was doing crazy shit for ratings too, putting people facing the ground and screaming at them and all kinds of nonsense.
What you drinking, Queen?
Kombucha.
Anyway, collective prayers for those two, because they do need an intervention. They need a Dr. Phil. They need somebody serious. They need
Dr. Phil's not serious. They need something off camera. The cameras need to go off.
They need to be stripped of their phones and cameras and be by themselves. That's what they need.
And instead of just talking about what they need, we need to talk about what we need. And the fact that we need to look inside of ourselves and try to understand why this is entertaining, why we get off judging these people, and why we think any of this is funny. None of it's funny.
It's funny.
Why are we even consuming that? Like, that's getting into your fucking cells. So, I wonder what Dr. Huberman would have to say about that, child. That's I believe it. Dr. Sebi, like, that is changing your structure. There's no way that it's not. Like, there's something that's changing.
You can look at her for the young lady. I don't Krishan, there's videos of her before she was in a relationship with him, and she was
beautiful.
Now she just like
beautiful, an athlete.
She's scared. She's scared. She's alone. Somebody help her.
And she's turning into an alcoholic. You can see it. Anyway, it's deeply troubling. Is there any good news on this goddamn podcast?
There isn't. In terms of them boosting content that is dumbing, and not even organic, apparently TikTok has confirmed to Forbes that some of its U.S. employees have the ability to boost videos in order to introduce celebrities and emerging creators to the TikTok community. All these viral videos ain't real. Welcome to the Matrix, everybody. TikTok says that about 0.002% of videos in the For You feeds, that's what the videos that they boost are called heated, and they put it in your For You feed so you just happen to stumble upon them. But apparently they just be heating up your feeds, and I'm not surprised many politicians, as well as those in the music industry, pay or in business agreements with TikTok to get some of this stuff heated. You guys just think about how many of these songs would just blow up, just happenstance on TikTok. I don't think so. Just don't think so. So, y'all, don't believe nothing. They're all conditioning us, and we should pay TikTok to heat some of our videos.
You just talked about Beyonce.
Where the manager at?
You are great.
Light this shit up.
Oh, God. Girls Trip. Last up, Girls Trip returns. The
movie Girls Trip. Yes.
With the full returning cast.
Jada, Tiffany, Queen Latifah. And who is
Go ahead. I was waiting. What's her name?
Regina.
There you go.
Oh, my boo. I love her.
Which Regina? What's her last name? Fuck them up real quick.
Regina Hall.
We'll take it. Yes.
Is that her name?
I believe.
Not Regina the King.
No, Regina King. We still praying for her.
Regina Reed. Oh, I think of her often, actually. Sending her healing energy. But anyway, so Tiffany's back. And are we accepting Tiffany back after this pedophilic debacle?
I mean,
is the Black community letting her back? Should we?
What happened with that? I didn't even hear anything.
They were like, never mind. Ain't nothing weird happened, y'all. Stop playing. We was confused.
No, she took full ownership of it.
Yeah, but they withdrew the legal. Like she was getting sued, and a lot of people said that she paid them off.
Well,
to make them go
who knows?
Away.
She said, though, I do remember her saying that this mother was extorting her. The mother of the children was extorting her for years, and she's pictured with said mother after, like, as of recently, not recently now, but before the lawsuit came to be, before we all became aware of this, like at different parties and stuff. And the mom is sitting right there. She was like, I didn't want her there. She told me that basically I would have to do what she wants, or she was going to release this. Interesting. I don't know. We haven't heard her side of the story. It's going to be in Ghana.
Well, the thing is, all I'm saying is that regardless, I guess she back. She back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the hell to think.
Red table with that.
I wonder why she did. Like, I guess she probably can't talk about it when it gets to legality. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. How do you make these fucking decisions?
Whatever it is, it's a lie. Beyonce, we don't know what's going on. We know we watched enough The Wire and Game of Thrones to know that what we see is not real.
Shanti, you just named two
all you gotta say
TV
is The Wire.
shows that aren't real.
All you got. Maybe Game of Thrones, not so. Although I think Game of Thrones is a beautiful depiction of human nature and politics. But The Wire, they don't get any realer than that. Stop playing. That's all right.
Well, no good news here.
Thanks for listening to Around the Way Curls.
It's all a lie. Everything is gray.
First.
And, it's
a gray.
Make sure you don't judge, but also know that it's all a lie. That's it. All right, we're at the end of the episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Are you enjoying our closing arguments to support why we have episodes? Why are we enjoying the closing ties?
Did you turn it off, or are you still recording?
I stopped.
Oh, I hate it. We have to figure something out. We have to figure it's so fucking awkward. And maybe
thank you for listening. We're coming back on Thursday. Remember to rate, subscribe.
There's got to be something at the end to button this up. We don't have to button up the topics. I think that's way too hard to do. If we find a through line, fine. But we've got to have something that's like the button of the episode.
Well, we got to have an edited episode then at the end of it.
It's terrible, yo. We're just like,
it's not terrible. That's
so awkward. It's like you're on like a roller coaster. You're getting to the top and you're about to go down, then it just stops. And you're like,
ooh, anticlimactic. That's the worst. Let me find out we ain't giving the people what they want. They ain't reaching the.
We have to figure it out. Good. It's driving me bonkers. Ugh. I hate it.
You ready?
All right. Ready? Oh, shit.